my incredible 4 subscribers. I've been putting in so much time for you. I have to slightly whisper because Jake is asleep. But this video is all about your wrists and how you can avoid feeling, that discomfort and how you can actually strengthen them. Try it, every 3 days or whatever, until you start to see a little difference, and then maybe just maintain. But if you're doing any sort of holding, like on your hands and knees or in a plank or whatever, you'll notice the difference very quickly. So let's get started. There are a few little movements to get through. The first, you're just going to open and close your fingers, or your hand rather, really fast. So open, keeping it super strong and super steady, and you're not worrying about any angle, but basically you're thinking of engaging like you're casting a spell. And I'm incredibly sleep deprived. What's new? So sorry for my appearance. But once you've done a few on one hand, then work to the other side. And I'm right-handed, so I noticed that I don't know if the thing will flip, but this side feels way more uncomfy and just random. So your palms are down while you're doing these. And then we're going to do them palms up. So you'll even feel like your triceps engage. Don't worry too much about form or whatever. We're just getting warm. So that's the first movement. Next is an elbow and wrist rotation. So D. Daniel's here to join in. So you're holding your hands forward and you can have them in fists or straight out, but you rotate everything and you rotate back in. So on the side, I'm really trying to not use my shoulders too much and feel my elbows moving as well. But again, because this is a super hectic, position, I'm just focusing on how much rotation I can get, even if I lose a little bit of the form or whatever. So maybe this will help if I show you my arms. But I'm here, and I open and close, and make sure that's coming from my elbow. Everything opening and everything closing. And it's freezing, so I'm putting my jumper back on. But you want to do a few of those. And then holding one hand now, doesn't matter which, obviously you start with. I'm just looking at my little book here. But you're going to hold your fingers down with your palm up. So in this position, and then you're going to straighten and bend through your elbow. Straighten and bend, and you can include the thumb, but to be honest, I just like the sensation of all my fingers. Sometimes I do, as in not my thumb, sometimes I do a few with my thumb. Oh, that's a decent stretch. Alright, let's do the other side. So elbow can stay relatively in. Press, straighten, bend, and straighten. So as we know, there's no magic number, for however many you do. That's totally whatever, but 10-ish or so, I guess, of those ones. And your elbow can stay, close to your body, if that gives you more direction. The next thing we're going to do is think about saying stop. So sending one arm away and then going all the way down past the point of being straight there, where you're really trying to draw in. So up and then down And again, you can do it with a straight arm. You can like play with little positions. You're trying to feel the activation through this part of your wrist. So down, stop, and down. I don't really know, to be honest, if a straight arm makes any difference, but sometimes I do a few of the single side stuff on their own and then I do them together. And then from here we're going to clasp our hands together and keep even this part, the heel of your hand, together. So don't just clasp and then move around. Keep everything stuck in and think about making little figure eights. If you're unco and you don't know how to do a figure eight, doesn't matter. Just roll around. But see how I swerve this way, then one palm comes on top and then the other palm comes. And more about those angles, really twisting around instead of just like finding one there. That's pretty cool though. Keep this clasp, and now we just go from side to side. So how can you kind of press down and keeping your fingers together? You can also do that forward and back, but again, the heel of hand stays really connected. Just looking at my little paper. And then shake it out. Next one, I grab an object that's like, you know, my water bottle, but like something that is like a little long and that you can hold on to. And with your elbow glued in by your side, you hold on to the end of the object and you think about flipping and then coming back. And this part when you come back is really difficult. Daniel, must you do that? Keep your elbow locked. Is he serious? And you don't have to keep it in like perfect alignment. Again, I'm like trying to go a little further, even just exploring and not letting the heel of the hand remove, so you stay locked on. I don't know if you can hear my wrist cracking. Of course, with something heavier, it's a little harder. And the same thing with our whole elbow and wrist rotating out and then drawing back in. And range can be explored. He's about to come in front of the camera again. There he goes. Alrighty. We're gonna do, oh my god. We're gonna get a band, which I should have prepared. There he is, sitting on my fucking book that I need. So we're gonna get a band, and it just needs to be something with a little bit of resistance. So I will grab the one that I prepared earlier. It didn't get out because I'm silly. And I'm gonna hold onto it with my palms up and trying to, at this point now, keep my wrists aligned. So when I say aligned, I don't want you to go out, you know, in any way. You keep them nice and straight if you can. What does that even mean? I guess just try not to lose the direct angle, but from here, pull the band apart. So you can see on the side, this is what's happening. That's what I mean by straight. And feel that tension. No. And then elbows in, you'll think about a little curl, still pulling the band apart with the same amount of tension. It's like lots through your biceps, but you'll find that it works your wrists a lot as well because they're trying to keep steady. The band should just be, you know, this distance apart, but like wrist, elbow distance apart. So we'll do a few of those. Cool. Next one we're gonna do is making a little prayer position. Heel of hand again connected, fingers connected. They can be together or just gently apart. And see if you can lower all the way down. And I know I'm using my traps a little there, but just lower. And then the other direction. So now that I've done a few, I'm going to try and relax my upper body. My traps on my shoulders at least a little bit more. And maybe I do that by holding in one position and then trying to come up. Maybe I just stay in the one steady position. But the key is squeezing the heel of your hand together. It'll release as from side to side. Shake it out. Probably the only wrist stretch you might have done, where we just come to the mat, so, or the ground or whatever. Put one hand down, let's face it forward, say, lean forward. Your palm is down. And as you move around, you feel how there's sensation into the wrist. You move all around the compass. Never eat soggy wheat bix. See how my thumb is sort of lifted? I want to keep it flat. I go back. I can even try to bend and straighten my arm here. And then go into the other direction. And then you do all of that again with the palm down. And this is where I really press down into that area. That's strong. Finding all the corners. And you'll see on the side, like I don't just sort of press here. I really try to find that angle there. Oh my God. Okay. That's nice. Let's take the other side. And of course, option once you've done one side is to obviously try both at the same time. The fact that you're doing anything for your wrists is, good. So keep the heel of the hand connected. So it's all well and good to just be like here, moving around like, we want to keep everything steady. I forgot what I was up to, I think there. I'm leaning in the direction of my fingers, then we go palm down. Spread your fingers, feel that nice press. And especially if it's your first time, just don't overdo it. Because it can be easy to overdo. Shake it out. And my wrists already just feel like more mobile. And then I learned this in a handstand class. They're little wrist push-ups. So basically I load my weight through a 4-point kneel onto, and I'm hyperextending right now just because that's the only place I naturally do it, and it is comfy for me, but you can have a little bend. And then you want to think about lifting up onto the knuckle part of your hand, keeping all fingers flat, and then lowering. So I'll show you from the front. Lifting up, pressing down through there and lowering. And you can even take this through all sides of the same little direction. And that would be good, obviously. But if you think about what's most important, it's where you hold your hands, a lot of the time, like in this position. So when you come to doing doubles, maybe lower, lower. I like not springing away. I'm literally trying to press into my fingers and then this part of my hand so that I can lift the heel of my hand. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Give them a little shake out. And you can always as well, when you're taking those little stretches there, lift one finger at a time, and that just sort of finds like a little bit more of a specific line or an more intense feeling. I don't know, I feel it, but also all the other stretches I feel are maybe better. But yeah, wrist push-ups are so good to do. And then whenever you're on the floor, let's say you're planking, I always just think about never jamming the weight into the heel of my hand and having this nice little grip so I'm not completely flat. I've got this tiny bit of a grip there, this tiny bit of a grip, and obviously depends on what you're doing. Like if you're dancing, you might not want to be like that, you know, you might just want to have your hand however. But like when I'm planking, for example, this is how my hands would look. Feel that little bend, and then notice how when I step back, I mean, you can't see me stepping back, but my wrists and arms are really strong. I feel like if you're there, you've got very little to work with, but when you've got that little bend, you can then access your fingers as well. So yeah, it could be an underrated one for you to work on.